Real say shit. You already know what's going on, man. When this David situation broke, I thought as time would go on, it would get better for his case instead of getting worse. But new news just broke today and things are getting way worse. Like, I'm talking about, this is probably the worst case scenario. Bro is looking completely cooked after new evidence pretty much completely implicates him in the whole body that was basically found inside of his car.
Tonight, police have identified a dismembered body found inside a Tesla linked to the singer David. However, police say the victim's name won't be released until her family is notified. Remains were found last week at a Hollywood impound lot after a towed Tesla emitted a strong odor.
We're not really 100% sure of what occurred to the person, but the person has since been identified. On top of everything, while making this video, new photos literally just leaked of him being posted up with this girl, and there is an actual link to David that is actually shown in the news, and rumblings within his community saying that they actually know the person and saw him with that said person. So we're gonna get into all this new breaking news right now, because it's honestly a crazy situation that I have never seen before. Like, this seems like some sort of horror movie or some A24 flick or some shit like this, the way this is breaking down right now. We're gonna get into it right now, but before we do, gang, I'm gonna need you to do something for me. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna run at this video. Make sure y'all check out the merch link in the description at staysafeworld.com. You already know what's going on. So if you don't know who David is at this point, if you've been on TikTok or the internet for the last couple years, you've definitely heard his songs Here With Me and Romantic Homicide that have gone multi-platinum. The Houston-born artist's rise to fame has been crazy, going from unknown to touring with SZA and then headlining his own world tour in just a span of a couple years, just based off of internet. And that makes it even more sad of this whole situation that's going on. Born in Queens, New York, and then moving to Houston, Texas at 13, David Anthony Burke started out in the church singing, playing the piano, and playing the flute before getting bored and experimenting in his own music to avoid copyright claims while making videos on YouTube. Like many artists in the bedroom pop era, he started posting his music on TikTok and gained major traction with his first breakout single, Romantic Homicide, which is honestly ironically named right now at this point. However, he was able to take advantage of his initial success, signed to Interscope Records imprint Darkroom, and then drop his song Here With Me, which went super crazy on the internet and reached top 40 on the Billboard chart. This got him tours with SZA, major collabs with Fortnite, and the ability to headline his own major tour. And up to this point, his only major controversy was doing a backflip in front of the crowd and completely face planting. So David was coming off a pretty crazy year and was pretty much blowing up like crazy. Like, he wasn't on no superstar level, but he was definitely on above average B-list celebrity type vibes. Just came off of a Fortnite, but then his year basically got derailed when a body was found earlier this month in a Tesla that was registered to his name.
Night after a gruesome discovery at a Hollywood tow yard. NBC4 Investigates was the first to report the discovery of a body inside of a Tesla that we now know belongs to the singer David. Singer is currently on tour and is scheduled to perform tonight in Minneapolis. A spokesperson tells us that he is fully cooperating with police, but right now, a mystery still remains. Our investigative reporter Eric Litter joins us live from our newsroom. And Eric, we're learning that car was sitting on the street for quite some time here, huh?
Yeah, that's right, Michael. Homicide detectives on this case say they believe the person found inside the front trunk of the Tesla yesterday was a woman, but they say it's still far too soon to say for certain if she was the victim of a murder. But that said, our contacts tell us there are sinister signs that this was a crime, but one that could be more than a month old. This was the scene yesterday as detectives and criminalists examined the human remains discovered inside this black Tesla sedan. Several law enforcement sources tell us they believe the dead person was a woman and her body was wrapped in a unique container. All of that weighs into the investigators' belief that she was likely the victim of a crime. The condition of her remains were extremely decomposed, making identification and the rest of the investigation much more difficult. Today, we learned the car had been parked right here at the intersection of Doheny and Bluebird, right on the border between LA, West Hollywood, and Beverly Hills. Neighbors and people working in the area today told me the car had been there for at least a month. City records show the black Tesla with Texas license plates was ticketed once on September 3rd for being parked in the same place for more than 72 hours, but but it wasn't towed until last Friday. Then the remains were found yesterday when workers at that tow yard said they noticed the odor of decomposition.
So there was a lot of different speculation going on. There was people online saying that he sold the Tesla, people online saying that it was reported stolen. All that ended up being fake. What actually happened was the Tesla was actually reported abandoned, not by him, but by people within a Hollywood Hills, pretty nice neighborhood. They came out and said that it was abandoned, and then a tow truck basically picked it up, took it to the tow yard after it had been abandoned for months, and then a body started smelling like crazy in the tow yard, basically, and then they discovered it, found it. So after that body was basically discovered, there was a lot of speculation about what was going on with David. What is going on with David? If you don't really know, David is a huge TikTok artist, like one of the biggest TikTok artists right now. He signed a Dark Room, same label as Billie Eilish, an imprint of Interscope. He's been having a crazy tour, and he's been on tour this whole time. Like, bro, out here throwing the boo-boos and shit to the crowd after getting a whole body found in his car, honestly, bro. So essentially, people have been wondering if it was him or not. You know, there was a lot of people saying that it wasn't him. There was a lot of plausible deniability that had people thinking that it wasn't him. People thought that it could have been a misunderstanding or he let someone borrow the car. But now there's new evidence that came out today that pretty much is linking him to this situation. So I'm gonna break it down because there's information that's on the news, and then there's information that I have seen on the internet of someone who called this whole situation and actually talked about the person who got murdered and had speculation that it was this person. And now people are going back, looking at their comments and saying, yo, they were onto something. So if you're getting investigated for a body and you're a 20-year-old singer, the worst possible situation that could possibly happen is that body is somehow connected to you. And it apparently TMZ reported today that it's not looking good for bro. So apparently the body has now been identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. Authorities said that she was a missing person last seen in April 2024 in the Lake Elsinore, California, IE area. This came out just 24 hours ago, and that was honestly crazy in itself. And it didn't really have the internet thinking like it was definitely him, but it had people wondering like, damn, this is kind of crazy. Like, why? It had a lot of people wondering because why? How can you fit a body in a frunk? If you don't know anything about Teslas, the frunk is the smaller trunk. I've tried to fit a suitcase in there, and I've barely been able to figure it out. But she was only 5'2" and like 120 pounds. So she was like super small. So since that was reported yesterday, there's breaking news today that TMZ reported that authorities said she had a tattoo on her right index finger saying shh. And the crazy thing is, singer David has a tattoo on his index finger with the letters shh as well. So off rip, that is not looking good, bro. Like, that is looking pretty much terrible. Like, I don't know what else could be looking any worse. On top of that, Celeste's mom has said that she had been missing for over a year, but the last time that she spoke to her, she knew that her boyfriend, Celeste's boyfriend, was a guy named David. That was just the only information that she had left over since the last time she's seen her. She's been missing for mad long, and she only knew that this dude's name was David. The crazy thing is, this isn't even the most shocking situation that pretty much has gone on in this whole scenario. I feel like the most shocking thing is definitely a leaked message from Reddit that was posted long before this actually happened, of someone actually talking about them seeing David with the person Celeste. This is crazy. So I was looking through Reddit, and I've actually seen this on multiple different places. I've seen this in other Reddits, not just in the David one. I saw that someone had briefly mentioned that they knew a 14-year-old that was around him, and they hoped that it wasn't him. But then the most damning evidence I see is someone named American Strawberry on Reddit, who was on the David Reddit before this actually came out and deleted their comment, but people have since found screenshots of it, and it basically explains kind of a background of what could have happened. It says, this guy is a weirdo. A close friend's little sister from the IE ran away last year, and this is who she was with. We think her sister was pimping her out. She was in 7th grade at the time. LAPD sweeped his place in the hills. I'm terrified that's who's in the car. Nobody's heard from her in months. I won't release names as she's still a minor, but she's from Lake Elsinore. It's crazy because when this came out, when they first commented that, someone under that comment was yapping, trying to defend him, saying, actually, I strongly doubt this is true. He's a very public social media presence, and there's no one underage in his road crew. I've only heard good things about David from our tour and venue staff. Don't post stuff like this with all the speculation going around. You're going to feed witch hunts like that. And then they responded, it isn't speculation. It literally happened. I don't really care if you've heard nice things about him. That has no impact on my personal negative feelings. And look, fast forward to today, and now we see this crazy situation ongoing, and I really wouldn't be surprised if he's literally the only suspect in this whole situation, man. It's honestly crazy. Like, I would have never expected the cookie to crumble like this. And I feel like the most damning thing is a person talking about how his Hollywood Hill house got raided and stuff, and it's probably not looking good, bro. If that's really the case, then this dude needs to be buried under the jail. And I personally think that the way that he's going about this is terrible, and I feel like it's by design. So you would think that if someone didn't have any evidence on them and they didn't do anything at all, wouldn't you think that they would come out and try to clear their name somehow, speak on it? You know, like, obviously your lawyers are probably advising you from talking on it, but you need to speak on it to clear your name. It doesn't matter. There's not any evidence tying you to stuff. Your lawyers should have no problem with you coming out and speaking about this whole situation, right? But he hasn't said anything. All we heard is he's cooperating with the police. And in my head, that makes me think that, okay, he doesn't want to get self-incriminated because there's actual evidence that has him tied to there. Honestly, bro, there's very little that you can say if you get caught in photos with this person who literally ended up missing, bro. It's looking like he's cooked. Why have the police waited to actually charge him with murder or something like that? It's probably because they need more evidence. They need the autopsy to see the manner at which this person died. But regardless, the fact that this person is dead in the car is definitely looking really, really, really bad. The only way that I feel like that this could be settled and he's not going to get arrested or anything like that is basically if the person died of like natural causes or like an overdose or something like that, which doesn't make any sense because the body was dismembered. Like, the person is completely cut up into pieces and thrown into a frunk of a car, bro. So I mean, I don't know how people are still defending this. I feel like even his fans have come to the conclusion that, bro, he's probably cooked. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Like, I don't really see how anyone could defend this and say that it's not probably him. Like, it's a misunderstanding. The matching tattoos, people are like, oh, everyone has tattoos like that. Nah, bro. No one has tattoos like that and gets found dead in the person's car with the matching tattoo. That is something that you don't see around. That is honestly crazy. And then also just the whole scenario where, like, the mom said that her boyfriend was David. Like, that, there's so many coincidences in this. Like, you think there's like 4 coincidences lined up in a row and that this is just one big misunderstanding? This doesn't make any sense, bro. It's looking like bro might have just murked this little girl Celeste, man. But hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this shit, man. Real say shit. You already know what's going on, man. Like, comment, subscribe.